Hello, I'm Richard Chambers. Welcome to A View from the Audit Trail, where I examine topics relevant to the internal audit profession. Risks facing organizations are diverse and dynamic. The good news is audit committees are increasingly turning to internal audit for a widening array of assurance and advice. But the relationship between the audit committee and the chief audit executive can be complicated. This is especially so during challenging interactions and as personal dynamics come into play. Let's admit it, there is a certain level of awkwardness with constructive feedback. That's why the audit committee might be hesitant to speak honestly and directly to the CAE. No more so than when the issue is about what internal audit could be doing better. And instead, they might turn to management to deliver the news. That doesn't always work out well. So in the spirit of self-awareness, here are 6 things that audit committee members might not say to internal audit. Warning, some of these may be uncomfortable to hear. Information provided by internal audit is not as valuable as what comes from external auditors. Whoa, that's not good. But there's a simple explanation. Audit committee members are often focused on compliance and regulatory issues related to the accuracy of financial reporting and the external auditor's associated assurance role. That said, the growing list of non-financial risks cannot be ignored. And this is where our profession can and must step up, master a wider portfolio of competencies, update our processes, and become agile while maintaining independence. Second, the audit committee can be overwhelmed by the risks and demands placed on them by regulators, shareholders, and others. Lengthy and yes, overwritten audit reports from internal audit can only make matters worse. We must consider the quality, frequency, and method of our communications. Don't just fire off another epic internal audit report. Build a productive relationship with audit committee members and try always to communicate in person. Third, and related to my last point, the audit committee may think internal audit fails to connect the dots. That's likely because there's too much noise. Make sense of what might be perceived as otherwise random details. Tell a story clearly and concisely. Make sure they see the forest for the trees and provide appropriate context that answers the essential question of so what? Next, make sure the audit committee knows you can do the job. This can seem like a tough hill to climb. A recent survey, in fact, found that nearly 1 in 5 CAEs don't take on critical risk because their team lacked the expertise. More than 1 in 4 didn't tackle some risks because they don't have enough resources. It is no wonder that some audit committee members are skeptical of internal audit skills. I feel strongly that CAEs must buck up and clearly assess their team's strengths and weaknesses. Then they must take the necessary steps to raise staff competencies, whether it's through new hires, expanded training, co-sourcing, outsourcing, or all of the above. A 5th unspoken message is internal audit can be perceived as little more than a mouthpiece for management. That's not good, considering surveys show that boards are sometimes leery about the quality of information actually coming from management. If internal audit is in lockstep, you can expect trouble. CAEs, bring your own voice to the audit committee. Internal audit must provide an informed and independent assessment. This applies not just to the myriad risks organizations face today, but also on the quality and completeness of information coming from management. Boards and audit committees desperately seek someone who can drill down to what's most important. Internal audit can serve that role. Finally, stop the drama. CAEs must take the high road and avoid bringing any distractions to the audit committee when in a dispute with management. Committee members want internal audit to be independent from management, but the fact is, many won't run interference that internal audit might need to be independent. Too many audit committees sit on their collective hands when management ejects a capable CAE who took on that role and maybe took it on a little too seriously. The overall lesson here is to be self-aware enough to always consider the possibility that audit committee members may have unspoken thoughts about internal audit. Ensure a free flow of communication, beginning with a clearer understanding of internal audit's role and contribution to the audit committee, the board, and to the overall organization. Read more on this and other subjects important to internal audit at richardchambers.com. For a view from the audit trail, I'm Richard Chambers.